All right, joining me now, Gold Star father who lost his son, Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, at the Abbey Gate during the deadly Afghanistan withdrawal, Darin Hoover, plus retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Jim Whaley. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Darin, I'm going to start with you. It's always an honor, sir, to have you on the show. I know your family, you've lost your son here. He gave the ultimate sacrifice to our country. And President Trump's words today, we owe them everything. We owe your son everything for the sacrifice he has made. What's going through your head most today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. Today, like the anniversary on August 26th, they're tough days, to be sure. But at the same time, it fills me with pride that my son and those many who have gone before, the 12 other brothers and sisters that were with him that day, gave their last full measure in defense of this country, defense of others. And, you know, their legacy has been set, just like all those many thousands that are laid to rest in Arlington, along with Taylor, and those throughout the country and other countries as well, that they signed on that dotted line. And knowing the sacrifice that they may be called upon to make, and still went and said, take me and I will go. And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, very, like a day of remembrance without question. Colonel, what's going through your head?
Well, my condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones. You know, today's a day of remembrance, a day of honor of those that have passed serving their country. It's also a day for us to remember the families, the lives, the legacy that is left behind of those that paid the ultimate sacrifice for their country. It's a day of remembrance, of course, but it also symbolizes a lifetime of gratitude to those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for their country. And I think you see that across the nation today. You just saw it with the president. You see it in your hometowns. It's a day for just taking a moment. And I would ask everyone listening to just take a moment and remember the sacrifices that so many have given so that we can enjoy the freedoms that we all hold dear.
Darin, I want to ask you about this, the record recruitment coming in for the military now that President Trump, Vice President Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, now that they're in office here, we've seen kind of a surge of national pride and people wanting to serve and sacrifice for our country here. What does that say about the current climate compared to the last administration, do you think?
You know, thank goodness for the men and women who stand up and say, you know, I'm the next one in line. Taylor re-upped under President Trump the first time. And the national pride, I think, is back to our country. And, you know, it says something about these young men and women that are doing it. They see that we're back and we're strong and that they have the backing of their leaders, and especially the President of the United States. You know, it fills me with pride as well that there are many of those, the 1% of this country, that are still willing to stand up and do what needs to be done in order to protect this country.
And Colonel, what do you make of that record recruitment coming in?
Well, I'm certainly glad to see it. I think all veterans value and honor all the services that their fellow veterans give to this country. You know, it's a tough life to join the military. It takes you away from home and family. And there's a lot of sacrifices associated with military service, but there's also an enormous amount of pride. And I think you see that when you talk to a service member and you talk to a veteran, you see them light up talking about the times of their service. And so I think as a nation, it is very important that we honor those that serve, those that are currently serving, and make sure they have great transitions to civilian life when they decide to leave the military, and make sure that veterans, of course, receive health care and all the benefits that they need to have a happy and healthy life.